Hello, I'm Corey Nicole, and I'm here today with Brian from FlyQuest. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm Brian Anderson. I'm the CEO of FlyQuest. I'm excited to chat.
Yes, I'm so excited to speak with you. And of course, your fans, that will be watching this are super excited to get to know more about you. Well, one, being the CEO, right, of FlyQuest is amazing. So how has that been taking over, that appointed role?
I mean, big shoes to fill. I think FlyQuest is a kind of famous legacy esports org in North America, and I've been a fan of League of Legends since I was in high school. Like, I grew up playing this game with my best friends growing up. It's actually how I keep in touch with all of my best friends from growing up. Still, play games a couple nights a week, and so when I was 18, starting to play the game, I definitely did not expect I'd be sitting in this chair, but in a lot of ways, it's like a childhood dream come true. And I feel a lot of personal responsibility to build an amazing legacy for North American esports.
No, for sure. That's like a surreal full circle moment. Like the fact that you literally are like, wow, like how many years I'm gonna be in the main chair.
It was I will say it was kind of funny. So my parents moved from my hometown to like where my brother lives, like I don't know, 2 hours south in Indiana, and I was helping them clean out their garage maybe like 6 months ago and throwing a bunch of stuff away. And I found this box of old papers from high school with like notes and tests and stuff. And I found a notebook and I had handwritten in like college rule notebook paper, League of Legends, like builds and strategies, like while I was supposed to be in class. And I actually found this notebook while I was cleaning out my parents' garage. And I was like, this is crazy
No,
that like
that's
I have this and
crazy.
I don't have it in my office, otherwise I'll like hold it up, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
get that like framed or something and be like,
No,
wow, I
that is
cannot believe
so
this
cool.
this is where it ended up.
Oh my gosh, no. So, of course, for any of your fans that are looking up to you, right, that would love to be in your position one day, what do you say to them, like the gamers that are actively like, wanting to get in the league or they are already in the league and they look up to you that, like, what advice would you give to them that they can reach that level one day?
Go to college, study hard, I guess. My career trajectory was not, how some people entered into esports. Like I've actually not been a professional in esports for that long. I actually started my career in finance in New York City. So I was an investment banker in New York for a number of years and did a bunch of, M&A deals and gaming. But the whole time I was like the nerd in the office. Like I had the light up, like, LED keyboard and all the other bankers were like, giving me the side eye. But I always knew I wanted to work in the industry. And I actually applied to like a bunch of like accounting roles and stuff, and I never got an interview. And then in 2019, I just said, you know what, I got to like do something myself, and I started my own team basically. And I was basically like, if no one else believes in me, like I'll believe in myself. So I started my own team in 2019, grew that business for a few years, sold it, and then took over FlyQuest in 2023.
And see, like you have really the best of both worlds. Like you're a businessman, but you also know what it's like as the mind of a gamer. So even taking like your own experience, how do you feel like you apply that to your new, projects or just your new vision for what you see for going forward for FlyQuest?
Yeah, like I really can put myself, I think, in the shoes of like a fan, because that's really what I was for most of my career was, watching the Twitch streams, like traveling to the events, like buying the jerseys, and so now I can try to like pay that forward and try to create, amazing experiences for our audience, but also try to create, championship, programs, in esports. But I think ultimately, like what my vision for FlyQuest is like I want FlyQuest to transcend esports. Like I want it to be the brand that kind of takes esports and catapults it, back into the mainstream. I view gaming as really one of like the major pillars of entertainment and pop culture with like traditional sports, music, fashion, television, movie entertainment. But like gaming is the most popular leisure activity in the world. Like people spend more time gaming than watching movies and TV combined in the United States. But yet we don't have like that cultural like brand like that's like based off of competitive success. And I really think that's the opportunity that we have at FlyQuest, and that's why I'm really proud of this of this Von Dutch collab that I know we'll talk about later.
Yes, for sure. And literally, that was the perfect transition into that because I felt that Von Dutch is truly like that, Y2K, that nostalgic brand that definitely is on the map for like Gen Z and a lot of consumers in that fashion entertainment realm. And so that you all have this amazing collab and having it on Complex Shop and doing so well with The League is Dead. And now you all have this new like release. Well, did it take you by surprise at how successful that it's been and how many people are like, oh wow, that don't even play sports? Because I don't even play sports, but I'm like, actually, I didn't get into it.
Yeah.
Probably
So
try.
so I so we thought this was going to be a special collaboration for a whole host of reasons, but I think it even exceeded our expectations when it comes to like the amount of like eyeballs we're getting and the cultural relevancy. I think Von Dutch is a really amazing brand that has a similar story to FlyQuest, right? It's been around for a long time, but in the last few years, it's had this amazing revitalization. There's like a nostalgic factor to it. There's like a classic Americana factor to it that's so fun. And so for us to use it as our partner for the League of Legends World Championship, which is the largest esports event of all time, we're the number one seed from North America. We're kind of like, representing our region. And so to have this classic Americana nostalgic brand be the face of our Worlds campaign in China, I thought was just like an amazing concept. And it feels very different than what anyone else in esports is doing. And it does kind of bridge that boundary between fashion, culture, and gaming that I think people, gaming's not just a bunch of nerds anymore, right? I think,
Right.
even if you look at our team, it's people
Yeah.
that are really competitive. They care a lot about, diet, coaching staff, like sleep, like, it's very analytical in a lot of senses now. And so to take the branding side just as seriously is kind of what FlyQuest is all about.
No, for sure. Like I love that with this collab that it really is putting it more on the map, of course, because the honestly the apparel is amazing, even with the design. So did you all have a lot of say as to like what you wanted the jersey to look like, and like did you get like final products and just kind of reviewing everything? Because it definitely matches the aesthetic. I feel like really, really well as to the
Yeah.
balance.
So I will say I'll give a ton of credit to Von Dutch. Like they were a really collaborative partner, and we basically designed the collection like every single piece together. We have an incredible designer internally, Carly Youngblood. She basically is the voice of the brand when it comes to the apparel design, and she really created the first round of drafts, and then we basically iterated upon those with the Von Dutch team, and they let us like cook pretty hard on what we wanted to do and make it esportsy, which credit to them to letting us do that. And then I think the end product, yeah, everyone was really really happy with how it turned out, and the reception's been pretty special.
And of course, going forward, since you all are going to just be like, building and progressing, are there any brands that you have in mind that you would like to collab with in the future?
Well, we're always trying to be like innovative, right? So there's some cool brands in the fashion space. There's some like IP collaborations that folks are interested in. I'll just like throw this out because this is like one of my white whales. But FlyQuest, our whole brand is about making gaming better than we found it, right? And so that's a culture of like improvement, commitment to excellence, and innovation. And the foundation of that, like the legacy of FlyQuest, even before my time, was having a positive impact on the environment. So we used to have a collaboration with MasterCard, for example, where for every time we would get a takedown or a kill in the game, we'd plant a tree. And so we planted like 150,000 trees in the Amazon every season, collaboration with them. My like white whale brand partnership is the national parks. Like I want to do a national parks FlyQuest collab and with a fashion brand, like all like triple threat.
Yes.
I want to do like a runway show, like at like Yellowstone. Like that would be so crazy, and it would kind of like remind people of FlyQuest's origin story, but also like where we want to go. And it's just like something that no one's ever done before. So that would be, I think, really cool.
No, I definitely think that's possible because I mean, even with the steps and trajectory you all are making now, it's like this is making waves in history because you all are really the first, like to truly make this impact. So even being like the initial first and getting this
Yeah.
attention and garnering that, is
We
it like a lot of pressure you feel, or is it just like, you know what, this is about time that it's came? So you're are you
Well, I think it always builds, right? Like these things compound. I think credit to our competitive team. Like, we've won 4 back-to-back championships in League of Legends, which is the number one esport in the world, from the North American side. Then we go and compete internationally, and tough competition against Korea and China. They're very very good at the video
yeah.
game. But we play. I mean, we play 8 games. At a world class level around the world. And really, we've just had a ton of competitive success. And when you're building a sports brand, regardless of how awesome your merch is, how thoughtful your brand identity is, and our community, like you have to win. So at the end of the day, I think the championship success has been a springboard for us. But then we've really tried to capitalize on that with some of these other pieces, and try to use that platform to become more culturally relevant, and kind of explain to people that gaming like is art. Like I view gaming as art. Like making the games is art. When I see people make plays in the game, my pro players, like if you watch Steph Curry do like step back three in the playoffs, like the cameras go off. It's like there's something artistic about the way pro athletes like move their bodies, um, and it's almost like a dance in some sense. And I think if you really understand deeply the video game space, like you can see that same sort of magic like in the game with like what these players are doing. And I think that's what surprises and delights like so many millions of people around the world. And how do we capture that moment and like and create a narrative around that and a brand around that? And I think really that's what FlyQuest is trying to do.
No, like for sure. Even with giving us some like an insight on how a typical, let's say, like week would be for like a player, how much like training that they put in. What does that typically look
It's
like?
tough. Yeah, so our players practice 6 days a week in season, which is 9 months. So they get into the office at like 10 a.m. So a little bit later than like a traditional day job, but
Yeah.
not 1 p.m. like maybe people expect. So it's 10 a.m. breakfast in the office, team meeting to like set the day. Then there's a 4 hour scrim block, lunch, a 4 hour scrim block, dinner, a 4 hour scrim block, and
Wow.
then 2 hours of individual practice, positional practice, then bed. And so typically it's around a 14-hour day,
Yeah.
6 days a week, 9 months of the year. And that's what you have to do to be the best.
No, literally, that's what you're like. That's how we breed champions. Okay. This is how we have the number one rank in
It's
North America.
and look, like, we provide as much resources as possible. We have a great coaching staff, physical therapy, in the office and things like that. You know, performance, coaching and whatnot. But yeah, esports is incredibly competitive. There's millions of people that play these games, and to have like the best 5-man roster in League of Legends, for example, in North America, it takes a lot of skill, it takes a lot of talent, and it takes a ton of hard work. And yeah, just really proud of our team. And we actually play tonight. We're doing this on I don't know if I should say that. I guess it's like October 21st. We play at 4 o'clock in the morning Pacific time,
Okay.
for against the number one team from Europe, which is like a bit of a grudge match for domination of the West. So fingers crossed we win tonight.
Oh no, for sure. Good luck. Fingers crossed.
Thank you so much.
No, and I'm sure that you all, of course, have such great relationships that have spent so many much time together, 6 days a week, how many hours, like for the months period. And I'm sure that they
It's
also have
tough.
the support, right? Like from their fan base and from the brands that are really making them like feel seen. Like we appreciate you all, that you all are really dedicating a lot of your lives. Because that's training. That's even like being an actor. Like you go and shoot for months and you actually have to practice. And there's really that relationship, like vibe and that connection. Like how would you describe like the team environment? Like is it every like very
It's
cohesive? Is it like very,
it's so important. Like, I'll call it like the locker room, even though it's not a locker room. It's like, a big
yeah?
room with a bunch of TVs and computers set up. But yeah, you're in such close proximity. These are young people. Like we have a 17-year-old Turkish kid that like doesn't speak that much English, named Gekos, that we imported over. He's like a superstar young talent. He's kind of like on our bench and is kind of like learning and being mentored, all the way to like our older players who are, and this is funny for esports, but they're like, old in the sense that they're like 28 years old, and they've been, a veteran,
Well,
like a super veteran in the industry. And yeah, they have to spend so much time. And it's a team game. It's a 5-on-5 game for League of Legends. You really have to have an intuitive understanding of the way, your teammate is going to, collaborate with you, like with very, very fast reaction times. You sort of intuitively have to understand that, just like in traditional sports. So you create this relationship in the game and outside of the game, and it's really on the coaching staff to make sure the inevitable kind of like friction that comes from just that much proximity and competitive intensity, because all of these guys are incredibly competitive, is channeled in a productive way. We've actually had the exact same team now for 2 years. It's the longest tenured roster in professional League of Legends in the world, without a roster change. And that's just a credit to the caliber, I think, of the people we have on the team and the
yeah, they're
coaching staff.
amazing. You're like, yeah, this is we were consistent with our team, and they actually
Well, it
all
helps when you win. We've won 4 back-to-back championships, so you don't want to, like, break up
want
the
to change
band
anything that
when,
works.
yeah, when you're still winning Grammys. Maybe you keep the band
Exactly.
together for as long as you can.
No, exactly. Oh my God. I know. I love that you are like, of course, the CEO. You're very passionate. I can tell they're very nurturing as well as that environment. And it really does show, right, in the wins, in how you all practice and how they present themselves. So they're very humble. Like they're not like, you know what I mean? It's not like a, oh, like I'm this, I'm that. Like they're very grounded. They of course like yes,
Yeah.
championships, but you know, we're
I mean,
cool.
they're just
Like
great guys. I mean, a lot of them. I mean, think about who like ends up becoming a pro gamer. Like, as much as we're trying to transcend the culture of and break into more of the mainstream, like at the professional level, like these are guys that played a lot of video games in high school
yeah.
and growing up, right? So, but they're all like really sweet people. Otherwise, like, it's tough to be a teammate, right? And
Yeah,
kind of
for sure.
develop those relationships. And yeah, just really proud of the roster this year, and they've done a great job representing us. And hopefully that continues.
No, thank you so much again, Ryan, for speaking with me. I'm so excited for like your fan base, my audience, to learn more about you as well as your team and just the overall FlyQuest and Von Dutch collaboration. This is just great exposure for you all, and I can only imagine it's going to just continue to evolve and increase. So I'm very excited for you all, and of course, good luck on your game yet again.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we have a lot of cool stuff coming up in the music space, in the art and fashion space. So yeah, stay tuned to FlyQuest. If you're into hardcore gaming, if you're a casual gamer, or you're interested in kind of that interesting intersection between gaming and pop culture, yeah, I think we'll have some cool stuff to show you in the coming months.
No, for sure. Thank you so much again, Ryan. I'm so excited for fans to see, and you all will see more of us upcoming soon for some more collabs. Thank
Great.
you.
Thanks so much, Corey.